you guys here to our YouTube live. We have an amazing group of ladies here that I've known for quite some time who have been running an online tutoring business and getting clients. And the number one question, number one, hands down, is always how do I get online tutoring students? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. And I think hearing voices from other people, getting ideas from other people is so pivotal. But not only that, but actually getting ideas from people who have actually done it is even better, right? Like there's a lot of people that like they'll teach you like how to work at home, and they'll be like, oh, you could do online tutoring. That's like one thing that you could do, but they don't actually tell you like how do you get clients for online tutoring. They just say like, hey, you could do online tutoring. And that can be frustrating because you're like, okay, well, I'm interested in doing online tutoring, but now what? Like, I don't know the next pieces. And these ladies are going to be here to help us kind of talk that through. So ladies, some people that are listening today are absolutely brand new. What suggestions do you have for them about getting students for their online tutoring business?
Well, I'll start. When I first started I was just about a year ago. Can you guys hear me?
We can. And this is Terry Grigsby, everybody. Okay. Terry Grigsby, who's an online math tutor.
When I first started, I like canvassed everywhere to get clients because you don't have word of mouth at all. So I went to the high school. I'm a high school tutor. So I went to the high schools and talked to the counselors, got my name in there to all the local schools. I put up flyers in all the libraries that I could. I even bought a sign for my car, and I just sat around thinking, what's every possible way I could get to somebody? I thought about Craigslist. If you're willing to go cheaper, you could go to Craigslist and probably get people. And then eventually I ended up at Thumbtack, and that's where I actually got the majority of my students when I didn't have any referral business at all.
Okay. And so for that new person who's like, just remember the feeling that you had when you're first getting started, like, where am I going to get these clients? Like, what would you say to that person who's like, I don't know. Like, how do I go about this? Do I just start doing everything?
Yes. Yes. Like, I mean, because the thing is, you're not going to get a ton of clients from any one source.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing is tell your friends and family, because they'll probably have kids that are their age that you're teaching. And that's the first place I got a client was from them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, since you don't know where you can get clients, think of it like I do, like a big experiment. Mm-hmm. So I experimented with the flyers. I always was able to get a few clients from the flyers. Mm-hmm. Thumbtack, as you guys know, I've gotten a boatload of people from Thumbtack. I mean, I just tried every one thing, and I don't depend on Thumbtack either. I went to the local community college where I had taught, and I put up signs, and I talked to the people I worked with there and told them, if you know of anybody, send them my way. And at the beginning, I let the students come in a little bit cheaper because I needed the practice on how to do all the technology. And so that was fine for me because they were like my training guinea pigs. And once you get started, then they start spreading the word of mouth. So that's what I think anyway. What about you guys?
Suzanne, go ahead. Okay. All right. Well, Terry, that's really great. I wish I had been good at doing some of the offline tactics that you had mentioned. I couldn't really do the schools here. The colleges here wouldn't really let me put up flyers or distribute them. But I liked how aggressive you were. I did find Thumbtack useful. I did get a client through Thumbtack. Now that it's the fall semester and I tutor academic writing, I'm starting to see on Thumbtack people looking for writing help, so I'm going to go back in there that way. And then there was another site, Knowledge Roundtable, that I used, and my very first client came from Knowledge Roundtable. But I don't know if they're still around, because what they would do is basically they would let you advertise or put up your own profile, and then somebody could just search and they'd find you, and there were a whole ton of tutors on that kind of site. But they directed it really towards your local area, but they did online tutoring too.
Awesome. How did you feel when you first started? I know lots of people are kind of like they're scared. They're scared to reach out and that kind of stuff. Like, what are people going to think of me? And what if I fail at this? Like some of that negative self-talk kind of goes through our head. Did any of you guys have that kind of stuff happening?
Oh, sure. I think no matter what level you're at, I was fully certified and was a member of several professional organizations, and I still was just kind of panicked. Just the thought of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do when the phone rings? I want the phone to ring, but what am I going to do when it does ring? So I think you fake it till you make it, I guess, but just be confident in your ability to, and maybe you're only good at one thing. If it's just geometry or it's just, book reports or whatever it is, just one area, be confident in that. And that's really, parents want to relate to you. And I think when you sit down and you have that conversation with parents, they're looking to you to be confident. They need you to know that you are going to be able to fix their problem. And once you do, then, I mean, you've got your client. So, yes, did that answer the question?
Yeah, well, you bring up a really good point there that like it's very natural to feel nervous in the beginning because it's new, and that is just the normal feeling that goes with anything that you're trying that's new. You've got the excitement, you've got the butterflies. They all go together. So just realize that it's just a feeling, and that as you do it more, that feeling is going to not be something that is going to get in the way from you moving forward. It's only temporary, and some people call it fear. Some people call it anxiety. Some people call it excitement. If you're feeling that feeling, I think in your tummy, think of it more as excitement. Be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like just keep telling yourself, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about this. And then when you have that conversation with somebody who's interested, you just keep telling yourself, I'm so excited about this. And you're going to come off a lot different than, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Oh my gosh, what am I going to say? What if I say something stupid? What if I say something dumb?
Well, you know what they say about courage. Courage is overcoming your fears and doing it anyway.
Yes.
And that's what you have to do with this.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I always thought about it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is they say no. Well, okay, then I move on. So I don't know. You just keep trying.
I would say though, like I didn't have the fear initially. It's going into it and then not getting a client right away. I mean, that's when the fear and the negative self-talk just kind of hit me. And I would say the only way that I got through that was creating regular content. Instead of, okay, I have a client at this time. Well, at these hours, I'm creating content. I'm building my expertise and I'm pushing myself out there. And that would get me through those negative things because I would be productive. I would be acting on my expertise and then just keep trying on Thumbtack or just keep trying with new listings or Facebook. And that was really a slow build to get clients through Facebook.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, fabulous. Now, Kendra is new into our group, the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors. So if you guys haven't joined us yet over there on Facebook, definitely join us over there. There's so many awesome things happening inside of that group. So definitely join us. And she was wondering if you would recommend like starting with a tutoring program or maybe like another tutoring company to gain more confidence.
I guess I'll jump in there. I say no, but because I think the more you work within a system, the harder it is to break out of that system. And quite honestly, good tutors make way more than what those companies are paying. So I would rather invest that skill and mindset into myself than invest it into another company. So, I mean, yes, it's there and it serves a purpose, but invest that energy in yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because a lot of those tutoring companies, if you're okay with getting paid $10 to $20 an hour, cool, go for it. I say jump on in, try it out, see if it's something that you even like. It's just going to be worth a little bit of your time. Some people are like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to like it. Well, it is a lot easier to get clients through a tutoring company than it is to get your own clients. I mean, I'm never going to tell people that this is, you know, a super easy path. You'll be able to be book solid in 1 month. I mean, that's not going to happen. It does take time for it to happen. But I do tell people also, don't quit your day job. I mean, like, start building this up and then quit your day job. But some people, you know what, they are forced out of the school system for whatever reason, or they are already tutoring. I mean, everybody has like a different situation where they're coming from, and a different financial needs and different things as well. So just know that your services, depending on how many years you've been teaching and how quickly you can close the gap, are going to be significant for you. So you can be able to make, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 an hour versus getting paid 10 to 20. So it's worth, I feel like, the time now to invest in all these strategies that we're talking about to be able to get your own clients versus wasting your time with another tutoring company, having to use the programs that they use, having to use the systems that they use, having to deal with the headaches of working for a boss, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I personally, when I found out that they were paying tutors $10 to $20 an hour, I mean, we have degrees, most of us. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is like slavery in my mind, because there's no way that a tutor is only worth that much money. And then you find out the tutoring company is charging $50, $60, $70, $80 an hour for your services. What? Well, what if you could figure out how to do that for yourself? Wouldn't you want to keep the money? That's what I tell people.
And I think it also forces you into a place where if it's up to you, I mean, if you're the one making the calls or you're making the decisions, not the calls, but then you're going to be more determined to do it better. I think forcing you into that type of situation, like you said, you're using their software, you're using their structure, you know, it allows you to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. And as a business owner, and if you're really in this for the long haul, you're not going to be comfortable, because there are so many awesome tools for us to be able to use. There's BitPaper, you know, Zoom, all these things that don't cost very much money, but they really allow us to expand the creativity and cater that lesson to what the child needs, and make it interactive for them. So I would say just don't settle. But like you said, if you're not sure, try it out. Might be a good way to start, but otherwise don't. Just invest it in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Invest in yourself versus letting them.
Can I jump in here?
Yes, please.
So when I started, I was one of those kicked out of public school. Well, I couldn't find another high school job. And I wanted to keep teaching. So it's like, it's my passion. So for me, I didn't want to do a tutoring company because I had this big dream of mine. And my big dream was to be all online, independent business. That didn't mean I knew how to do it. But when I started, it was like, that's where I'm focused. That's where I'm going to put all my energy, and I'm going to work like nobody's ever worked before, so I can get everything up and running to do it. And like Dana said, you know, when you have to do it and you can't rely on another company, you do it because, you know, that's the only way you're ever going to get paid in the long run. So for me, it was just like I had this big dream and I really wanted to go after it. And I was willing to work and learn and grow in any way I could. So it's possible to do it just straight out of the gate. You don't have to necessarily be for a tutoring company like some people do.
Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
I just want to piggyback off of that, saying that Terry, when she first started, I found her in the Ultimate Support Group, and she was doing this challenge. It was like a 5-day challenge. And I could see just from the very beginning, like, she would just, okay, one day I need to create my video to put on my website. And she'd go ahead and do that. In 24 hours, she'd have her video up, and she kept taking actions every single day. And I think within that first week or 2 weeks, I think was when you had your first client. Am I right with that, Terry?
Yeah.
So it was just, she put in this massive effort at the very beginning and was so driven. And it was really amazing and inspiring to see.
That doesn't mean it was all great quality, though. I mean,
no,
I was doing I'd get my website up. It wasn't great, but I thought, oh, let's get it up there. If I get everything up each day this week, I can go back and revise it all. Yeah. But at least that was a great start for me. And at that point, you were calling it Kickstart, I think.
Yeah, it was a 5-day kickstart that we were doing.
Maybe
I
got kickstarted.
Yeah. and so how important is a website with getting clients online?
Oh, I think it's vital. I've gotten so many clients on my website. Is it the only place I get them? No, but they find me and I haven't even gone looking for them. So, and I also use it once I find clients other places, I send them to my website for registration form. So that way everybody has to go through my website. And that just helps create the presence for you, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it does. It does, because when I got a client that found me on Facebook and was messaging me, he went all over searching for information about me. And one of the first things he did, I think, was he checked YouTube, but my website too. And then that's where he could see my authority too, because I had a blog and I wrote so much about that. And he really checked everything out. And even when I use Thumbtack or another place, I'll mention in my proposal, oh, you're noticing this problem. Hey, I have this great blog post. You might want to check it out on my website. And I use that to build up credibility. So it's definitely a sign of, I think, authority and credibility having your website from the very beginning. And you can make changes and you can improve it. I'm always doing that, but I think it's just your central piece out there, that online piece that shows you're really who you are. You're legitimate.
Yeah.
Especially
Kendra
when you
mentioned that
create content.
Kendra mentioned in the chat over here that she's paid for a website in the past but didn't get any clients. She knows she's doing something wrong. What suggestion would you have for somebody who feels that way with their website?
My suggestion is to build into it a blog and put it on, well, for me, it's putting it on Pinterest and get people reading that blog and following you and getting on an email list, because those aren't your immediate people that are signing up for your services, but they're warm leads, they're following you, and they're more likely to start buying your tutoring services or anything else that you have on your website. Yeah. And just also when you have that blog and people are finding you through Google, they're seeing, oh, this person has written or done a lot of videos on this topic, and they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, I did the same thing with Instagram. Now, I may not get a lot of likes, but I get a lot of profile visits. And those profile visits send you straight back to your website. And that's what I care about. So think about ways that people can find you other than directly. The other thing I would say, if you think your website's not working, is reevaluate your SEO, because maybe your SEO is not that great and you're not ranking high enough to be seen.
And what is SEO? Can you explain that to people who don't know what SEO is?
Oh no, search engine optimization. I can't believe I remembered that. It's basically finding keywords that Google uses to rank you within all the other, like say Meet with Me, all the other math tutors. And if you pick the right keywords, then you will show up higher than other people. Like you, Joanne, you dominate, man. You are the SEO queen, so you should talk about that.
Well, you know what? That was huge for me right off the bat. Was I had learned some SEO strategies before I even came into the online tutoring world. So I already knew how to start thinking about keywords. Now, the way that you start thinking about keywords is, what are people typing into that little URL bar, right? And so when they are typing in, I need a reading tutor, or Skype being reading tutor, or Skype reading tutor, whatever they're typing in, you want to make sure that you find out what those are. And that's what we teach inside of our community, don't we? We teach exactly like that, step by step. Like, how do you find those keywords? How do you find the right one? And then how do you optimize your website so it can get found for those keywords? So, I mean, that's a cool thing. I mean, you can look up, Terry Grigsby, and you're going to find, when you type in like Terry Grigsby, you're going to find her website, you're going to find her different social media profiles, and it's going to be this Terry Grigsby. You'll see photos as well. You'll see lots of photos of Terry Grigsby. Same thing with me. You'll see lots of pictures. You put in Joanne Kaminsky, you're going to see that. You see online reading tutor, you're going to see pictures of me. You're going to see my website. You're going to see videos that I've created. All of those things are going to come on up and pop up. So when people are typing in those search keywords, that's more important, I think, than even like than having the website in a way, because you're pointing people to you But if you don't have that website, like that's the little last piece of like extra authority, I feel like is that. And then you're also giving people all the answers that they want. You've got your frequently asked questions on there. You've got a place where they can contact you. You've got a freebie to get them on your email list. We talk about a funnel to be able to get people to go forward with your online tutoring services. And it's really important to have like a welcome video. Otherwise, it looks like a people actually value the one-on-one tutor that is going out there and starting their own business more than they value those larger companies because they get to choose their tutor. And so when you put on your very first page a welcome video from you, kind of talking with that empathy and talking about, okay, what is going on with them, then you are able to, invite them to a freebie that is going to help solve a problem for them. And then they download that and now they're on your email list. So then whenever you create any other kind of content, they are going to be able to be sent that content, which means that your name is coming up in their inbox, whether they're reading that email or not. They're still glancing, they're still remembering. The more that your name pops up into that inbox, the more opportunity you have for them to see you, recognize you. And maybe it wasn't the right time when they first found you. A lot of people think, oh, if they don't hire me right away, then maybe there was something wrong with my website. No, some people just aren't ready right off the bat to hire you. So you have to get out there multiple formats, multiple ways, and you have to be insane about it. Like think about all of the million different ways that you guys can get found online. Now you had talked about Thumbtack in the past.
Yeah.
Thumbtack went through like this lull. We have no idea what happened. They kind of changed the system. And just recently, Terry, you went back into Thumbtack to be able to get students, and you've been getting some successful results.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know when I talk about Thumbtack, everyone goes, it never works for me. But I'll tell you, like, I'd been trying to use it the last few months, and I couldn't get anybody to even respond to me at all. And so I started changing a few things up. And then within the last month or so, I started getting a lot more people contacting me. And, I don't know why. I think it's just, what I think it is I rechanged my quotes all over again, and I made it totally directed at them.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I would include some of my own information. Now I don't include any of that. I usually start with, because you don't get that much information on Thumbtack. So I'll say things like, wow, okay, you need algebra tutoring. I'd love to chat with you some more about this so I could find out more about what you're looking for. Do you have time for us to chat? And that's really personal. If somebody reads that, that's way personal then. My name's Terry Grigsby. I'm a math tutor. That's asking them for a call back. And since I've been doing that, I've been getting people to want to chat with me. And I've picked up 5 people just this month from Thumbtack.
Oh my
and I've been having any for months and months and months. In fact, before this happened, Terry and Grigsby was ready to walk away from Thumbtack too. It's like, I'm a waste of my time. And then all of a sudden, boom, I get 5.
5.
You have to be rethinking your stuff. What you put on Thumbtack, just keep redoing it and redoing it and redoing it. Do an experiment like I did. Try different things and see if people will respond to it.
Yeah.
So,
I love that, Terry. I'm going to change that.
I don't give up very easily. So no is not a great answer for me. I'll try my best to work around a no to find another pathway in. So
yeah. So we have to address the elephant in the room with Thumbtack. Their prices went up. Can you share information about that?
Okay. So I looked at this recently. You only pay if the person contacts you. And if they contact you to say they are not interested, you can get hold of customer service and you don't pay for it. So, I mean, I don't get contacted by that many people. So I was looking at my average over the last few months, and I think I was paying like $25 a month. So that's not that much.
No, okay. So now I got to throw another thing out there. You paid $25, but how much did you make?
Well, I mean, if you get a client for a school year, how much is that? And if I'm charging $50 after the first time, I've already made my money back.
Already made it back, yeah.
Yeah.
No brainer. And so like when it comes to paid advertising, usually the things that I teach are free advertising. Okay, guys. So when we're talking about search engine optimization, that is all free advertising. It's organically getting found. And this is like the only paid advertising that we've dabbled in that we as a group have found any kind of success in. I do not suggest Facebook ads. I do not suggest Google ads. But Thumbtack, you already have people looking for tutors, specifically looking for a tutor. All right. And so how much is that worth for you? Well, for me, it's $300 a month. Usually my students go with 1 hour a week of tutoring. I charge $75 an hour. So I'm willing to at least spend $300 then to figure this thing out. This is what I told Terry in the beginning, and she started playing with it, and she dug in and she won. She got 10 students in 1 week. I'll share a link to that video where she explained how she did that. So
and the thing is, when you're new and you don't have referrals, Thumbtack is a good place to go. I mean, you're not going to have to stay at Thumbtack all the time. Once you get enough people and enough referral business, you won't need to have to be schlepping yourself on Thumbtack trying to get people.
Right.
And if this doesn't work for you and you're not getting clients, and I hear that a lot through Thumbtack, then leave Thumbtack.
Yeah.
Go find something that works for you. And when you find a way to that it works for you, can you make a video so the rest of us can see that? I mean, because I'm always open in new ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's some people feel like they've gotten burned so much online, and Kendra's bringing that up, and I was part of a $20,000 scam in the beginning. Don't worry, I'm not bringing it up, Terry. I'm not even talking about it. I was burned. I got burned by a close friend of mine who was a network marketer who tried to get me into this other company, and so when it comes to getting burned, I get it. Okay. $20,000 is a lot of money to lose on something. And I had to even take out like a mortgage on my house in order to pay for it. So I get getting burned. Okay, guys, I get that. And that is why in this community, I have this passion and this desire to only share strategies with you that actually work. Decide how much money you want to invest in an idea. And if it doesn't work, move on. That's why I don't even tell people in the beginning about Facebook ads. Like, don't even do it, because I still haven't figured it out. And I've been doing this for 8 years now. So if you're a newbie walking in the door, definitely you will just watch your money just go away. Even though you can set a certain price, it is not the best way to be able to get found.
And if you're new, it's not a bad strategy to think locally first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did. I thought locally first, and I thought of every single place I could find people locally, because they're the people that are going to know you. It's not going to be as scary for you. And you can pick up a few people that way, and just to get started, and then you'll start building your momentum from that.
Yeah, absolutely. So try some of those things that you mentioned, right? Like flyers, talking to schools, trying to get maybe on some of those lists. Like some schools actually have a tutoring list, some schools don't. I've heard both. But getting out there and talking, telling your friends, having those conversations. Hey, what do you do? When they say like, hey, what are you doing now? Well, I'm an online tutor. And they'll ask you questions about that. Really, how does that work? How do you do that? And then you talk about it, you explain it, and you just say, hey, do you know anyone who happens to be struggling with the area that you want to tutor? And if they do, they might have a possible referral for you. You never know.
I mean, I even told my doctor, I'm like, I'm a tutor. I need help if you know of any math people. She got me a client.
Yes.
Nice.
Go with a business card to your doctors.
I continue, you guys, to get clients today from Jazzercise.
See?
Oh my goodness.
The second week I walked in the door, no, the first week I walked in the door there, I couldn't finish the first class. All right, it was 30 minutes in. I'm sweating, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up and down the hall right now because this is like really hard. And it was an hour class, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I go into the foyer, and I hear somebody talking about their son who has dyslexia. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, that's what I do. Like, I help kids with dyslexia. And so she hired me, and the rest is history from there. Then there was an instructor who was looking for a tutor, and she ended up hiring me. And now that I'm an instructor, like, I'll mention it on stage. Like, I don't mention it often, where it fits. Like, there's one song we have, it's called Work at Home. And so I just like, oh yeah, this is my song, Work at Home, because that's what I do. I'm an online reading tutor. And like, that's it. Like, I only bring it up when that song is on, and I don't even bring it up every time. But I had one lady, she's like, oh, I know you're an online reading tutor. My first grader is struggling with reading. Do you think you can help her? So since I have been in Jazzercise, I have always had a client from Jazzercise that has been bringing in money.
I've got to start Jazzercise.
I wish I had one
I
client.
can't keep doing YouTube yoga. I've got to get out there.
Now, I met Dana at a dyslexia convention. What was the name of the group?
It was the International Dyslexia Association Wisconsin chapter.
Yes. Are you still a member?
Yes.
Do you get clients from there?
No, I have never gotten one. And I was in charge for almost 2 years of the membership list.
Oh,
like the tutor referral list. I know. I never got one.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a bust.
Yeah, but I'll tell you where I
do know that
did.
Laura Culp has gotten students from there, hasn't she?
I don't know. I don't see Laura that often. She travels with her husband a lot, so she might get them. I don't know. But once you penetrate the network, then I mean, there's not that many of us in Wisconsin who do this, you know, and most of them are local to the areas. But I will tell you where I've gotten more. One of them, I'll say my second most popular source is Learning Ally.
Oh, okay.
Free referral list on Learning Ally, and you would not believe the people that contact me, and it's free. So
how do you get on Learning Ally?
Just go to their website, and they've got a free tutor list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just put it on there, and I get calls, I'd say 2 to 3 times a month, maybe.
All right. You got that insider stuff, Learning Ally.
That's right.
So put that in the comments, Joanne, so we can go back and look at that.
Learning Ally.
And I think, and I'm sorry, guys, the academic reading it would cover. I don't think it does math. I'm sorry, Terry, but definitely check and see.
Yeah.
But I think it's mostly like reading type things, but definitely check it out.
All right. Now this is like, I think that Kendra has just asked the $1 million question. What if you don't feel comfortable approaching people? And so I know that Suzanne and I can like totally address this, because while I look like I'm an extrovert, I'm like an introvert undercover, because I actually hate having to start a conversation with somebody else. And I know Suzanne, you do too. So how would you address that with like being afraid to approach people?
Well, I've not had, because I'm an introvert, I've looked for other ways to approach people. I didn't really know anyone in my family, although I told people in my family and all throughout what I do just normally, like, hey, do you know anybody? I'm doing this. I'm an online writing tutor and I'm really excited about it. And it didn't go very far. And I am introverted, so I focused a lot on trying to build that online presence. And even though I'm introverted, I found that Facebook was a really good way for me to get out there, and also to get people messaging me and asking me about tutoring and asking me about writing and watching my Facebook lives. And then that's how I got a client last month. Was he had been watching me on Facebook, and then of course he went to YouTube, my website, and all of that, and that's how he decided to hire me. But I was finding what I was comfortable with and using that as a way to build a relationship.
And stepping out of your comfort zone too, because you hate video. You hated video.
Yes. I hated being on video. I'm still not great with being on YouTube recorded videos, but I do find that I like doing live stream a lot, because I can just feel like I'm talking to somebody that's a student of mine, and I'm just doing it almost like I would tutor a lesson. Or when I do an interview, and I love doing interviews, those I just am so interested in what other people are doing, and just kind of diving into all of that I'm really natural and comfortable with it.
It is such a mutually beneficial thing that you're doing too, when you're doing these interviews with other people who are tutors, because even if it doesn't get a lot of views, you are still getting in front of other people, right? And anybody can find this stuff. And you found that the replays get a ton of views with your Facebook lives.
Yes, they do.
So
those
tell
get
us about that.
Because a lot of times people won't show up live, but it's there, and I've already done things to promote it. So I create an event at the very beginning of the week. I use Be Live, which for me has been a really big difference because I could schedule things ahead of time. It lets me do interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And having that schedule ahead of time, because I do my lives, my regular live show I do on Wednesdays, and then interviews or other things throughout the week. But I can have like a 3-day build up to that. Plus I have a bot. And if I feel like the Facebook Live I'm going to do is really, really relevant to those people on my messenger bot,
Mm-hmm.
then I promote it that way. So I get people that have the link to it, and I've posted the link in other places through an email list, but they can't watch it live, but they watch the replay.
Sure.
Because they have that direct link to the replay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's
actually,
key.
you have to do some advertising in a way like before the event, then after the event as well, to be able to try to get those views.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
you do have to promote it, and I'm promoting people sharing it and liking it while I do the video. I try and ask questions to get people to comment, because when you have people in the chat making comments, that way Facebook knows that it's engaging to people, and they start boosting it up in their algorithm so that the people who follow you start to see it more. And you can ask people to click on the notifications of your Facebook page so that they'll know a minute or two beforehand when you're going live.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Kendra totally needs to come and join us. That's what I think. I think she needs to just like, we have a conference next week, so I'm just gonna like throw that on out there. We have a conference, and it only costs $1 to get in the seat, and we're going to be talking about overcoming those obstacles that you are going to approach in your online tutoring business. And so one of the topics is not having enough clients, right? So we're going to be discussing this even more next week as we have that conference Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And you still have a chance. Now the door closes Friday at midnight. You won't be able to join us for it. I don't know if I'm going to have replays for it, any of that kind of stuff, other than for the insider members who are already a member. They always get free replays to it because we have a community area where the videos are stored. But definitely come join us. I'm going to put the link inside of the show notes in a bit so that if people are interested in joining us, remember, if you're an Insider Secrets Club member, do not click that button. I always have to remind you guys, do not pay for this. This is part of your membership. Like, you get these live conferences every single month. So I'll put the link on there. All right. So we've got, people always ask me, like, if I were to do one thing to get clients, what should I do?
Talk to people. Just
don't
start.
do one thing.
Yeah.
No, don't do one thing.
No, don't do everything you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't get stuck in that mindset, right? Of
No.
oh, I just want to do one thing, or I'm so overwhelmed. What's the first thing I should focus on? So if somebody's overwhelmed, which is a different thing, right? That's different than if there was one thing. They're so overwhelmed with all the things they could be trying. What would you say should be the very first thing they should do?
Make a website.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because then you can start driving traffic to that website.
And it doesn't have to be a perfect website. It can just be bare bones until you think of everything you want to do, and you can go back and add it as you go. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a horrific task just to get it up and going.
Yeah, set it up in Wix.
Yeah,
It's
that's an
super
easy
simple.
place to do it, isn't it? It's drag and drop simple.
Yeah. Super
I really
simple.
do like it. And their email system now, like if you do end up for SEO reasons going with your own URL, what makes it really cool is that they have an email system already built into that. So you don't have to purchase an outside email system like I had to do in the beginning days. It wasn't set up yet for that. And now that there's a need for it, they have it all in one little nice package for people. So you can send like automated messages and all of that kind of stuff. So when you want to send a freebie to them, it automatically comes to them.
Awesome.
Maybe we should explain what a freebie is if new people aren't watching it. And that's really a key piece of the website.
It really is. And so what is a freebie, Suzanne?
Oh, great. Well, the freebie is something that people can download that's going to benefit them. And by doing that, it's like a free gift of some kind that you're giving to people who visit your website, and they download it, they get value of it, but then you're also getting their email and other information so that you can be sending them things and building a relationship with them. Because sometimes people will come to your website and they might forget about you. They download that freebie, they're going to remember you and say, oh yes, that's that tutor, and oh, I've gotten these things from that tutor. Gee, maybe now I'm ready to hire a tutor. So different things like a checklist. Some people do videos, free videos on a topic, or free guides, free challenges, all different kinds of free things that people can look for.
Could it even be a quiz? Like, does my child have dyslexia? You know, something like that. Like, a lot of people want to know that. And that's like a direct lead into your services. So that would be really, really useful for people.
Yeah, check SEO to determine what are people looking for. You know, I know that the screener or the questionnaire for dyslexia all ranked really, really high. And I mean, there are screeners out there, there are quizzes, but people are still looking. So definitely check SEO.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, like, what are people searching for? And so how do you do that? How do you check to see what words people are searching for? There's a simple tool. It's called ubersuggest.io. You can go there, you can type it in. It will tell you how many people are looking for that word every single month. So you want to focus on keywords then that people are focusing, that they are actually searching for. So if you think like a topic is a great idea and you put that keyword in and there's 0 people searching for that, it's not worth your time. Maybe it's phrased a different way, or maybe they say it a different way. It might not be that it's a bad topic. It might just be that they don't say it that way. So they're not going to find it because they don't type that in. So you have to think about the way that your ideal client thinks. And we really dive deep into that, don't we, you guys, inside of the Insider Secrets Club? Like,
right.
We have so many tools for you to be able to get inside the mind of your ideal client. And so that's the other part too, like with the online, lots of people, when they did in-person tutoring, they could tutor everything. They would just take whatever student like kind of came their way. But online, would you guys suggest that it's better to be an expert in one area or to like just tutor a whole bunch of stuff?
One area. People can do easier if you're just one area.
Yeah, it's too competitive to do everything because there's everybody else that does everything, and the prices are really low too because they don't value your expertise because you're offering everything.
Yeah, and that's more like applying for a job versus being your own business owner too, right? So when I'm applying for a job, I like list all the things that I can do so that I can get the job. But when I'm an expert tutor in something and I actually can make a difference in the students that I work with, and that's something that's key too, is that I really can get the results that they're looking for, then I can charge more for those services. And people are actually going to seek you out because they're looking for an expert, right? They're not just looking for something.
Yeah, and if you charge too little, people aren't going to view that as being an expert. They could hire the high school kid next door and get him for $20 an hour, you know? So value yourself. I mean, I'm not saying go outrageously high, because then if you're starting out, that's not going to work. But set a reasonable pace that you think works for you, that you think you can run your business off of, because people do care how much you cost. They will hire somebody that they view as an expert.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are like, oh, but people don't pay that much money.
And if
Go ahead, Suzanne.
Oh, sorry.
It's all you, Suzanne.
Okay. All right. If you think that your price is high, you can always still keep sort of a higher price, but then also, like, for example, I have a 1 hour price, but then I also offer 45 minutes too. And so somebody that may really want the expertise in that 45-minute session, they can get that lower price that's there and that's available to them. I don't feel like I'm compromising on what I'm worth, but I feel like I'm also offering something that people can afford at different rates.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So favorite ways. Favorite ways. So we've discussed a lot of different ways, and Terry had to leave because she's got to head on out for an appointment. But what are some of your favorite ways to be able to get clients?
Well, I love it when they come to me.
Yeah, that's really cool, right? And that happens when you start doing
It does.
like when you start building the online presence. Thank you for bringing that up. When you start building an online presence and you start blogging, or you start playing on YouTube and creating videos, or you're on podcasts, then you can get people finding you without you having to find them, and they email you in your inbox. Now, I gotta tell you, I love that.
That's the best.
And like this stuff that we create is all evergreen. So, people can run into any of your content at any point in time and think, wow, that's the person I want to hire, and hire you. You never know what content they're going to fall on. So just create as much of it as you possibly can, right?
Right. That's geared towards your ideal client.
Right. Geared towards your and consistency. So let's talk about this idea of consistency. Like, how often should I create content for my ideal client?
Go ahead.
I would say once a week.
Seems like most people do once a week. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I would say at least like maybe it's a blog post a week. The other thing is, and this is getting awesome, you guys, you can get in front of a lot of different audiences by going on other people's podcasts, by writing on other people's blogs, by collaborating with other YouTubers out there. So think that way too. Like, it doesn't have to just be all my own content in the beginning. I can start thinking about who can I connect with that would be good. And think about all the different kinds of connections. So that's one of the benefits of the Insider Secrets Club with the online tutors, is that we can connect with each other and start building those relationships, that we can be like, you know what, this client isn't really a good fit for me. I'm going to refer this person instead. And that's happened in the past inside of our group, where people are like, I have somebody asking for this thing. And we got a little jingle.
Sorry.
I wonder if YouTube will cut that out.
I don't know.
One time I had a song on Facebook, and I was like starting off with a dance party, and you know what they did? They muted the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, really?
So it's just me dancing like a freaking fool.
I saw that and I wondered, what is going on with Joanne?
Oh my word, that's crazy.
So guess what? You're going to do embarrassing things sometimes, and it's okay. You know what? We've all done them. When you're first starting out, or when you have 8 years experience and you're like, what just happened? Like, I had music on, it was a good song, and because of copyrights and that kind of stuff. Yeah, they just cut me out. So it was crazy. But definitely, I totally lost our train of thought of where we're going with that.
Well, I wanted to say
about
something about that. Yeah, well, you were now transitioning to talking about the insider secret, and I really want to put a plug in, because in the beginning I was like, okay, ultimate support group. I didn't see a difference really between the ultimate support group on Facebook and the insider secrets. So I think at some point I joined the Insider Secrets Club and I didn't even really realize what it was. And it's outrageous. But if you are serious, and this is for, of course, for all the new people, but if you are serious about building your tutoring, you've heard of the saying of taking it to the next level. You really, really, really have to be part of the Insider Secrets, because it's a real shot in the arm. It's collaboration, and you need that. It's like, you need constant positive feedback. And I mean, when you're just frustrated or whatever it is, if you go to the Insider Secrets, and it's a family, it really is. And you need that to keep on top of your game and keep going. Like Terry, oh my word, that woman, she's awesome. But every time she would post something, she would just come back and back and back, and we would all get that, and we would root for her. So definitely take advantage of that.
I know it is absolutely wonderful to be a part of this community. Like, I learn and grow so much from it too, because everybody is sharing ideas. It's not just like one person who's sharing ideas. And that thought, I always like compare this. So like a piece of like yarn, right? So if you try to take a piece of yarn and you try to go like this to it, in fact, I always have yarn by me because I love to crochet. But if you take yarn, you guys, and you try to break it, you can't break that. You're gonna like seriously like hurt yourself if you do that. But look what happens when I turn this into one little thread. When I turn this into one little thread here, look at that.
Yeah.
When we work by ourselves, that's what it's like. You know, we are more susceptible to breaking, to giving up, to all of that. But when we are supported by a group of other people who are doing it and people we can ask questions to and they can guide us, we become stronger together because of that. So it's definitely something I talk about it in that 3 secrets call. So when I talk about the 3 secrets to getting online tutoring students, we talk about like what it's like being in an Insider Secrets Club, and you can learn more about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a link for you guys so that you can definitely take a look and see if that's something that you're interested in learning more about. But you will definitely learn more about how to get students and how to network, because that is key. Being able to network, and online networking is so much more fun, I feel like, than like in-person networking, because like it's so much easier to talk to you on the computer than it is in person. Although I feel like now, if I were to meet you well, I have met Dana in person. If I were to meet Suzanne in person, it would be like a hug fest, and it would be like there would be like no strange or awkwardness at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because we already know each other so well, which is really a lot of fun. And networking and knowing people who can refer your services is just absolutely incredible. So I know that there's people out there that are like, oh, well, these tactics work for you guys, but they wouldn't work for me. What would you say to them?
I would say a lot of the tactics that I had heard, I didn't think would work for me because I'm an introvert. And I don't mean from the insiders group. I mean from before I was in the insiders group. A lot of them were like Google ads and Craigslist, and they just weren't really fruitful, good ideas. So for me, it was getting that website and focusing on that online presence. But I think of that as really long term, because that's when it's going to get to the point where people are going to you. But definitely, you know, if you're starting off, just pick one, I would say, immediate thing that you can do well. With Terry, it was flyers and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and go headstrong, go all in. Don't think one flyer. That's not going to get you very far, right?
Right, but like pick that offline strategy that you're comfortable with and just go all in. And then maybe one online strategy that you're comfortable with and go all in on that. And then as you get comfortable with those two, keep trying something else.
Yeah.
Well, to say one more thing about the Insider Secrets group is that it's hard to know what step to take. And I like Suzanne, just pick one thing and go focus on it so you don't get overwhelmed. But inside that Insider Secrets Club, since we have those conferences every month, one of the biggest conferences we had was creating a business plan for yourself. What are the steps that you take? And I mean, there are just sheets after sheets after sheets of people who have ideas about where do you go from here. And all of that is there. It's all videoed. There's all downloads there. It is all there. There is no guesswork. It totally makes it easy for a brand new person who's just woke up one morning and thought, you know, maybe I think this might be for me. That's the place you need to be.
Yeah. And then next is the website place.
Oh, yes.
After you've got that business plan.
Yo, that business plan.
Your website.
Yeah, that business plan is life-changing because it allows you just to, yes, oh, it's so focusing.
Yes. And I'm just putting the link right on in here on my second computer, because we work off 2 computers sometimes. But definitely anybody who wants to learn more. And, you know, I'm always reminded of the idea of the Olympics when I think about getting a coach, right? You look at these people and you think, oh my gosh, they're so talented. All right, I got to tell you, like right off the bat, there isn't one person in the Olympics that hasn't given their heart, their soul, and every little ounce of blood, sweat, and tears to that event that has been successful. And guess what else they do? Not only do they put in a lot of time, but they have surrounded themselves with the right people. They've gotten a coach to be able to take them there. They didn't do it alone. They have a team of people surrounding them that are supporting them. But not only that, they have the right people. Because if you keep practicing something the wrong way, you're not going to get good results. Like people could say, yeah, start a website. But if you don't know anything about SEO and you don't know anything about creating content, you're going to see that that's not really an effective strategy whatsoever. And so it's really important to, surround yourself with the people who actually know, and they're not going to charge you. Like there's a lot of courses out there. They'll charge you $500 to $1,000 just to learn one of these skills. Right.
Yeah.
And and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, so I only have one skill. Whereas in the Insider Secrets Club, we are learning throughout the entire year. And it might feel like a lot at first, but all of a sudden you're going to start hearing terms over and over and over again till all of a sudden you're like, I think I get this thing. I get what they're talking about.
Yeah. And ask questions. There's that Q&A meeting. And I have to say, in the very beginning, I found that so helpful because I could ask those beginning questions. Yes, there were people asking more advanced questions too, but you start to soak that up too. But like being able to get an immediate answer to the immediate big problem that I'm having was really, really helpful, because otherwise I'd spend hours searching for it to look to find a blog post on how to fix something or a video on how to fix something. So having that place you can go to and be able to ask those questions and get that specific advice from really good people, from Joanne, who's been doing this for what now, 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Congrats on 8.
Yay!
You've been into Olympics.
I didn't think about that.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have the Tutor Olympics.
That should be a conference theme.
We should. When are the Olympics up again? 2020?
They just happened, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, we had the Winter Olympics. We'll have the Summer Olympics in 2 years. So that will be when? Then 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020. So yeah, 2020. We got the Olympics. We'll have an Olympic theme.
Yeah. Yeah, and in addition to what Suzanne said, the group coaching calls, and that's absolutely those are 2 times a week. If you're stuck, if you just need a shot in the arm, tune in. And I love how it's broken down. Okay, this is where I'm stuck. This is what I'm going to work on between now and next week, or now and the next call, or whatever it is. So there is no excuse not to ace your game if you tap in.
There are now 28 calls during the month that people can get on to.
Wow.
Yeah. Between the group coaching, between this YouTube live, between the now we have a Facebook one that we're doing tomorrow at 3:00 just for the insiders. There's 28 calls that you can get on in any format. So if you don't feel comfortable getting in a group, like right off the bat, like getting on a camera like this, no big deal. Come join us on something like this, like YouTube Live, or come join us with the in the Facebook group where you just have to chat. You don't even have to show yourself. So yeah, there's a format for everybody. We've got all different times spread throughout the day so that we can meet people's needs from all over the world. And that's a cool thing too. Like we are meeting people from all over the world. We got people in our group from Ireland. We've got people from India, and it's just crazy, like all the different places that people are from. So much fun. I love it.
That is great.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining today, for sharing, your secrets on how to get clients for online tutoring. This is always a topic that we are continuing to cover. It's never ending because there's so many new strategies that are being born, and then there's old strategies that are no longer, they're obsolete. And so that's the beauty of being part of this community, is that you get the opportunity to stay on top of what's working today, right now, to be able to get those clients. So as soon as something stops working, we start talking about that as a group, and we're like, okay, this is not working anymore, you guys. Don't even try it. We all took a summer break from like Thumbtack because we're like, all right, that ain't working right now. Something's going on there. And then Terry like popped back on in and she said it's working again. So, that's the beauty of just being part of this group and this community. So thanks for sharing your wisdom, your expertise. I love it. And Tomorrow, if you're in the Insider Secrets Club, we got another call right inside of our Facebook page, Insider Secrets Club Facebook page. And then next week we have our conference. Again, I put the link inside of the chat. Feel free to click on that and join us. It's been wonderful having you guys. My name's Joanne Kaminsky, and I had with me today Dana, who's an online dyslexia therapist, and Suzanne, who is an online English, academic English writing tutor. And we also had Terry, who's an online math tutor. I will share their links in the show notes so that if you want to check out their websites, learn more about them, you can do that. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been wonderful, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers.